Everybody, welcome back. These are the films that we love from 1936. These are the best movies of 1936. I'm Tony, and you're watching Yesteryear and Today. Adventure in Manhattan. A reporter meets an actress whose producer is a presumed dead thief and stakes his reputation on predicting the next crime. Adventure, comedy, and crime. Adventure in Manhattan. Jean Arthur and Joel McCrea. After the Thin Man. Comedy, crime, mystery. Private Detective Nick Charles and his wealthy wife Nora are back at home at last and hoping for a quiet new year when there is a murder. After the Thin Man. This movie was great, and William Powell was brilliant as the Thin Man. Andy Hardy gets spring fever. Who doesn't love a very young Mickey Rooney? I love Mickey Rooney. Young Andy develops a crush on his drama teacher. Meanwhile, Judge Hardy has his own problems when he gets conned into forming a phony aluminum corporation. Andy Hardy gets spring fever. Cary Grant stars in The Amazing Adventure, drama, romance, and comedy. A bored millionaire wagers his doctor that he can support himself at a working-class job for a year without touching his inheritance. The Amazing Adventure. Anthony Adverse. In 18th century Italy, an orphan's debt to the man who raised him threatens to separate him forever from the woman he loves. Anthony Adverse. Frederick March and Olivia de Havilland. Anything Goes. A young man falls in love with a beautiful blonde. When he sees her being forced onto a luxury liner, he decides to follow and rescue her. This is a comedy, musical, and mystery starring Bing Crosby, Ethel Merman, and Charles Ruggles. Anything Goes. Big Brown Eyes. Sassy manicurist Eve Fallon is recruited as an even more brassy reporter as she helps police detective boyfriend Danny Barr break a jewel theft ring and solve the murder of a baby. Big Brown Eyes. Born to Dance. On leave, a sailor falls in love with a young lady aspiring to become a Broadway dancer, but their relationship is jeopardized by an established Broadway star who is also enamored by him. Comedy, musical, romance. Born to Dance. The ex-Mrs. Bradford, a wealthy mystery writer, uses her doctor ex-husband's non-payment of alimony to coerce him into reconciliation. This is a comedy mystery featuring William Powell and Jean Arthur. The ex-Mrs. Bradford. Bullets or Ballots. When a crusader against rackets is murdered, a grand jury battles the rackets by promoting McLaren to be in charge of the cleanup. This is a crime, drama, and film noir, again featuring the legendary Edward G. Robinson. Camille, featuring Greta Garbo and Robert Taylor. A Parisian courtesan must choose between the young man who loves her and the callous baron who wants her, even as her own health begins to fail. Drama and romance. Camille, featuring Lionel Barrymore. Cain and Mabel, comedy, musical, and music. A talented boxer and a gifted dancer hope to increase their waning popularity by inventing a fictitious love affair for the benefit of the tabloids. Cain and Mabel. Captain January, featuring you-know-who, Shirley Temple. A little girl named Star lives with the lighthouse keeper who rescued her when her parents drowned. A truant officer decides she should go to the boarding school but she's rescued by relatives. Shirley Temple in Captain January. Ceiling Zero, war veteran pilots Dizzy, Texas, and Jake are working in an airline in Newark. Dizzy is flirting with the girlfriend of a young pilot, and due to his health, he feigns illness. Ceiling Zero, featuring James Cagney. The Charge of the Light Brigade. A major countermands orders and attacks to avenge a previous massacre of men, women, and children. Action, adventure, and romance. Starring Errol Flynn and Olivia de Havilland. Charge of the Light Brigade. Charlie Chan's Secret. The heir to a huge fortune is presumed drowned, then shows up, is then murdered. Charlie Chan's Secret. Drama, mystery. Check it out. I love Charlie Chan. Check out Charlie Chan. Again, we have Charlie Chan at the circus. He was very popular in the 30s. While visiting the circus with his family, Charlie is recruited by the Big Top's co-owner to investigate threatening letters that he's received. Charlie Chan at the circus. This is a crime, drama, and mystery. Charlie Chan at the opera. What is this, Charlie Chan week? This is Charlie Chan at the opera. A dangerous amnesiac escapes from an asylum, hides in the opera house, and is suspected of getting revenge on those who tried to murder him 13 years ago. Charlie Chan at the opera. China Clipper. Dave Logan takes his regional Pan American airline and with vision and sometimes ruthless determination establishes Pan American and Trans-Pacific routes. China Clipper, featuring Pat O'Brien. Things to Come. The story of a century, a decades-long Second World War leaves plague and anarchy, then a rational state rebuilds civilization and attempts space travel. H.G. Wells, Things to Come. H.G. Wells was brilliant, so check out Things to Come. Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. Gary Cooper. An unassuming greeting card poet from a small town in Vermont heads to New York City upon inheriting a massive fortune and is immediately houndbound by those who wish to take advantage of him. Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. Desire. An automotive engineer bound for a holiday in Spain meets a sultry jewel thief. Marlene Dietrich and Gary Cooper in Desire. This is a great movie. If you haven't caught it, you should watch it. Desire. The Devil is a Sissy. A well-bred young English lad living in Lower Manhattan tries to gain acceptance from his not-so-well-bred peers at school. The Devil is a Sissy. Starring Freddie Bartholomew. Jackie Cooper. We love Jackie Cooper. We love Jackie Cooper. The Devil Doll. Drama, horror, and sci-fi. An escaped convict uses miniaturized humans to wreak vengeance on those who framed him. The Devil Doll. So this is kind of quirky and evil, but you should check it out. It's really good. Next up we have is Dimples, featuring you-know-who, Shirley Temple. Dimples Appleby lives with the pickpocket grandfather in 19th century New York City. She entertains the crowds while he works his racket. Shirley Temple in Dimples. Next up we have drama, fantasy, and horror, Dracula's Daughter. When Countess Myra Zaleska appears in London, mysterious events occur, leading Dr. Von Helsing to believe the Countess must be a vampire. Look at her face. Of course, she's Dracula's daughter, bitch. She's Dracula's daughter, bitch. Rembrandt. The respected painter takes to drink and faces down scandal after his wife dies. Charles Laughton in Rembrandt. This is exquisite. Well acted, well written. Follow the Fleet. Comedy, musical, and romance. A Navy sailor tries to rekindle a romance with the woman he loves while on liberty in San Francisco. Follow the Fleet. This is a comedy, a musical, and romance. Next up we have is The Petrified Forest. A waitress, a hobo, and a bank robber get mixed up at a lonely dinner in the desert. The Petrified Forest. Leslie Howard and Betty Davis. If it's got Betty Davis, you know it's got to be good. So check out The Petrified Forest. Fury. When a wrongly accused prisoner barely survives a lynch mob attack and is presumed dead, he vindictively decides to fake his death and frame the mob for his supposed murder. Spencer Tracy in Fury. The Big Game. Gamblers kidnap Atlantic star quarterback Clark Jenkins in The Big Game. This is drama, romance, sport, and comedy. There'll be a lot of shenanigans, tomfoolery, but this is a very good movie. The Big Game. The General Died at Dawn, featuring Gary Cooper and Madeleine Carroll. Action, drama, and war. Amid the anarchy of China, an American mercenary tangles with a ruthless warlord. The General Died at Dawn. Next up we have Ghost Patrol, drama and western. A professor invents a radium tube that makes internal combustion engines stop running. He and his invention are captured by a gang of robbers. A federal agent is sent to rescue him. Ghost Patrol. This is a very good movie. Check it out. The Gorgeous Hussy. President Andrew Jackson's friendship with an innkeeper's daughter spells trouble for them both. Featuring Joan Crawford and Robert Taylor. The Gorgeous Hussy. Next up we have James Cagney, one of my favorite actors of all time, James Cagney in The Great Guy. The adventures of an investigator, Cagney, for the Bureau of Weights and Measures. Great guy. Great actor. Great film. See what I did there? Next up we have is The Great Ziegfeld. The ups and downs of Florence Ziegfeld Jr., famed producer of extravagant stage reviews, are portrayed. This is a drama, musical, documentary type movie. The Great Ziegfeld. Check it out, starring William Powell and Myrna Loy. Heading for the Rio Grande. Drama, music, and western. Ike Travis runs a protection racket. When the herd owners refuse his services, his men rustle their cattle. But when Tex Saunders shows up and starts thwarting their attempts, chaos ensues. Heading for the Rio Grande. Starring Tex Ritter, John Ritter's father. Next up we have is Intermezzo. An innocent young pianist falls into an affair with a married violinist. Intermezzo. So you should check that movie out. The Bohemian Girl, comedy musical. A band of gypsies is kept outside the walls of Count Anaheim's palace. Oliver's wife kidnaps the Count's daughter Arlene, then leaves the child and runs off with her lover. So this is a lot of drama. Check out The Bohemian Girl. Now for comedy, we got Laurel and Hardy in Our Relations. Two pairs of long-lost twin brothers experience hijinks involving a valuable ring, cases of mistaken identity, and gangsters. Laurel and Hardy in Our Relations. Comedy. Ladies in Love. Comedy, music, and romance. Three working girls in Budapest pool their resources to get a better apartment and impress their dates. One dates a nobleman and, learning of her rejection by him, considers poison. Ladies in Love. Comedy, music, and romance. Love on the Run. Comedy, fantasy, and romance. A runaway bride and an undercover reporter get caught up in political intrigue as they lead a merry chase across Europe and uncover a spy plot. Love on the Run, featuring Joan Crawford. Love Before Breakfast, featuring Carol Lombard. I love Carol Lombard. A rich businessman stalks another man's fiancée. This will be good. Love Before Breakfast, comedy and romance. See the black eye she has? Love on the Run, a runaway bride. I think I just covered this one, so we're going to leave it in here. Love on the Run. It's a really good movie, so excuse for the duplicate, but, things happen. Things happen. We get excited, so we cover the movie twice. So check out Love on the Run. All right, Mary of Scotland, biography, drama, and history. The recently widowed Mary Stuart returns to Scotland to reclaim her throne, but is opposed by her half-brother and her own Scottish lord. Katharine Hepburn and Frederick March in Mary of Scotland. Mayerling, drama and romance. Rudolph, Crown Prince of Austria, is fettered on all sides. He's bored. His father, the Emperor, is domineering. His politics are more liberal than his father's, but he knows better than he does. Mayerling, drama and romance. Modern Times, featuring Charlie Chaplin. The tramp struggles to live in modern industrial society with the help of a young homeless woman. Charlie Chaplin in Modern Times, one of the best movies of the era, one of the best movies of 1936. Modern Times. More Than a Secretary, comedy romance. When the co-owner of a secretarial school visits a magazine editor to find out why he runs through secretaries, she's mistaken for an applicant. Drawn to him, she accepts the position. Just more than a secretary. Mummy's Boys. Two ditch diggers from New York join an archaeological expedition to Egypt in hopes of striking it rich, unaware of the supposed curse. Mummy's Boys. This is a comedy and a romance. My Man Godfrey, featuring William Powell and Carol Lombard. A scatterbrained socialite hires a vagrant as a family butler, but there's more to Godfrey than meets the eye. My Man Godfrey. This movie is good. William Powell was a beast of an actor in the 30s. Next Time We Love, drama and romance. A young married couple relationship becomes strained when he is assigned overseas as a foreign correspondent and she becomes a major stage star. Next Time We Love. Right now we need our careers, but next time we love. That's what's going to happen. Pennies from Heaven, comedy, drama, and musical. Larry Poole, in prison on false charges, promised an inmate that when he gets out, he will look up and help out a family. The family turns out to be a young girl, Patsy Smith. Comedy, drama, and music. Pennies from Heaven. Poor Little Rich Girl, featuring you-know-who, Shirley Temple. The daughter of a wealthy businessman becomes lost in the city while traveling to a new school, and is taken in by a pair of down-on-their-luck performers. Poor Little Rich Girl, Shirley Temple. Poppy. Carnegie con artist and snake oil salesman Eustace McGargle tries to stay one step ahead of the sheriff, but is completely devoted to his beloved daughter, Poppy. W.C. Fields. It was brilliant in this movie. Poppy. Check out Poppy. Libeled Lady. When a socialite sues a big paper for libel, the editor responsible calls in the help of his ignored fiancée and a former employee to frame her and make the false story seem true. Libeled Lady. Comedy and romance. Lloyds of London. Drama, history, and romance. Blake is in love with an aristocratic woman whose husband seriously injures him. Blake's friendship with Lord provides the basis for Blake's part in the growth of Lloyd's Insurance. Lloyds of London, starring Bartholomew and Carol. The Princess Comes Across. A woman pretends to be royalty in order to get aboard a cruise ship. Comedy, crime, and music. The Princess Comes Across. Check it out, featuring Carol Lombard. The Prisoner of Shark Island, biography, drama, and history. The story of Dr. Samuel Mudd, who was imprisoned after innocently treating President Lincoln's assassin in 1865. How did Abraham Lincoln die? He was killed by John Wilkes in the booth. That's how Abraham Lincoln died. One rainy afternoon, actor Philippe and his married date Yvonne plan to neck in a darkened cinema. But he gets the wrong seat and mistakenly kisses lovely Monique, a publisher's daughter. One rainy afternoon. Comedy, musical, romance. The Invisible Ray. Horror sci-fi thriller. A scientist becomes murderous after discovering and being exposed to the radiation of a powerful new element called Radium X. The Invisible Ray. A horror film of 1936. Red River Valley. Gene and Frog set out to find out who has been causing the accidents at a damn construction site. Drama, music, and western. Red River Valley, featuring Gene Autry. Next up, we have the cult classic, Reefer Madness. Cautionary tale that features a fictionalized take on marijuana use. A trio of drug dealers lead innocent teenagers to become addicted to reefer cigarettes by holding wild parties and sex parties. Reefer Madness. Roaring lead, drama and western. Hackett, the executive of the local Cattlemen's Association, which also runs the local orphanage, is using the association police to rustle cattle and embezzle its funds. Roaring lead. Sabotage. A Scotland Yard undercover detective is on the trail of a saboteur who is part of a plot to set off a bomb in London. But when the detective's cover is blown, the plot begins to unravel. Sabotage. A Barbary Coast salon keeper and a Nob Hill impresario are rivals for the affections of a beautiful singer, both personally and professionally, in 1906. Clark Gable in San Francisco. Satan met a lady. A double-crossing woman, the two-timing PI she hired, the corpulent empress of crime, and a gentleman thief are all after a legendary priceless 8th century ram's horn. Satan meets a lady. Secret Agent. After 3 British agents are assigned to assassinate a mysterious German spy during World War I, 2 of them become ambivalent when their duty to the mission conflicts with their conscience. Secret Agent. Showboat. Despite her mother's objections, the naive young daughter of a showboat captain is thrust into the limelight as the company's new leading lady. Showboat. This is a fun movie, comedy, drama, and music. Speed. With the help of his mechanic buddy, an engineer, and the company's attractive new publicist, an automotive test driver struggles to develop a new carburetor by entering cars in the Indy 500. Speed, featuring James Stewart and Wendy Burry. Stowaway, featuring you-know-who, Shirley Temple. A young girl lost in Shanghai is taken in by an American playboy and his girlfriend. Adventure, family, comedy, and musical. Follow Shirley Temple in her shenanigans. Next up, we have Jean Harlow in Susie, drama, romance, and war. Believing that a German spy has killed her new husband, Franchot Tone, a struggling chorus girl, Jean Harlow, flees to Paris where she meets and marries a World War I pilot, Cary Grant. Susie. Swing Time. Roguish gambler dancer Lucky Garnett is challenged by his fiance's father to come up with $25,000 to prove he's worthy of her hand. $25,000 is a lot back in 1936. Swing Time. College Swing. Gracie Alden tries to graduate on college to get an inheritance. Comedy musical. College Swing. This is a great movie. If you haven't checked it out, I think it's online, but check out College Swing. Next up we have is Tarzan Escapes, an expedition seeking to bring Jane back to civilization, and Tarzan into captivity gets more than it's bargained for. John Weissmuller and Maureen O'Sullivan in Tarzan Escapes. The man who can work miracles. An ordinary man suddenly finds that anything he says comes true, or at least almost anything. Comedy, family, fantasy. The man who can work miracles. This is a fun movie, you should check it out. And of course, it's with H.G. Wells. The Healer. A young doctor running a health farm for polio victims is dazzled by a pretty and wealthy society girl, to the detriment of his patients and the woman who really loves. Mickey Rooney in The Healer. I love Mickey Rooney. Next up we have is The Last of the Mohicans. Woo! The Last of the Mohicans. Adventure, drama, and western. During the brutal French and Indian War, the legendary stout Hawkeye is prevailed upon to escort Major Duncan Hayward. The Last of the Mohicans, Randolph Scott and Biddy Barnes. The Plainsmen. Wild Bill Hickok attempts to stop an Indian uprising that was started by white gun runners. Drama and western. Cecil B. DeMille's The Plainsmen. Next up we have The Plough and the Stars, or The Plough and the Stars, or The Plough and the Stars. A husband clashes with his wife over his membership to the Irish Citizen Army. Barbara Stanwyck in The Plough and the Stars. It's either plow or plough, so correct me down there if you have the right word. The Trail of the Lonesome Pine. A railroad man from the city befriends a mountain girl in Kentucky family feud. Sylvia Sidney, Fred MacMurray, Henry Fonda. The Trail of the Lonesome Pine. I love Fred MacMurray. Who doesn't love Fred MacMurray? The Golden Arrow. It's the Florida party season for heiress, with both Oklahoma oil heiress Hortense Burke Myers and New York-based cream heiress Daisy Appleby in the state. Comedy, family, and music. Bette Davis in The Golden Arrow. The Jungle Princess. Christopher Powell is in Malaysia with his fiancée and her father, capturing wild animals. Adventure. Dorothy Lamour and Ray Milland in The Jungle Princess. Next up we have Harold Lloyd in The Milky Way. Comedy, family, and sport. Timid milkman Burleigh somehow knocks out a boxing champ in a brawl. The fighter's manager decides to build up the milkman's reputation in a series of fixed fights. The Milky Way. Theodora Goes Wild. The author of a controversially race-based selling book tries to hide her celebrity status from her provincial small-town neighbors, who would be scandalized if they only knew. Theodora Goes Wild. These three. Two school teachers and the man they both love face ruin when a malicious student cooks up a lie. These three. So this movie has a love triangle, gossip, rumor, innuendo. Girl, you gotta watch this. The Walking Dead. Look at that. The title, The Walking Dead. Crime, drama, and horror. After hapless pianist and ex-con John Ellman is framed for murder, he is resurrected by a scientist after his execution. Oh, just like Frankenstein or what? What's next? Three live ghosts. An investigator is asking Miss Gubbins about a William Foster, who is a friend of her stepson, Jimmy. Both are listed as killed in action during the Great War. But are they really dead? 3 live ghosts. Tough Guy, action, crime, and drama. Again featuring the young Jackie Cooper. An unhappy child accompanied by his dog runs away from home and is befriended by a gangster on the lam. Tough guy. We love Jackie Cooper. We love him. Wedding Present featuring Cary Grant. When Charlie Mason is promoted from irresponsible reporter to hard-nosed city editor, it costs him his girlfriend, ace reporter Rusty Fleming. This is a comedy romance in Wedding Present, and I love Cary Grant. You should watch Wedding Present. Lastly, we have Wife versus Secretary. The wife of a publishing executive mistakenly believes that her husband's relationship with his attractive secretary is more than professional. Clark Gable, Jean Harlow, Myrna Loy round out Wife versus Secretary. Those are the films that we love of 1936. These are the best movies of 1936. If there are any movies from that year that I missed, that I didn't cover, by all means leave them in the comment section, and hopefully I can make another video addressing those films that I may have missed. I'm Tony. Thank you for watching Yesteryear and Today, and I'll see you all in the next movie. And I'll see you all in the next video.